Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News and loads of interesting things to dive into today. Nitr0 now with Team Liquid talking about why he prefers the Counter-Strike Open format to what the Valorant Champions Tour is offering right now. But also, Asuna and TenZ give their thoughts on Neon and whether she's overpowered or not in her current state. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting the like button is the best thing you can do. Top of this channel reach new people, and please do subscribe as well if you have not yet already. First of all, this from the guards. Recently, ShahZaM, I'm pretty sure, was on their team. Then he got kicked straight away. And, Trent, formerly known as Habib, is now joining the guards for stage 1 of the VCT. Exciting team. Net, of course, is over there as well. Definitely a promising talent from the North American region. Good to see more organizations getting involved. Definitely, a question that is being raised right now in the VCT. Like, okay, when Riot does probably franchise this eventually, which organizations are going to be able to buy in? The guards may well be one of them. They've got a lot of backing behind them with their Los Angeles Gladiators, Los Angeles Guerrillas in the Call of Duty side, and the Cronky ownership, I'm pretty sure, behind the entirety of it. This also from Ninjas in Pajamas. They finally confirmed their Valorant team in the Brazilian region. Definitely, I'll keep you guys updated at some point on what's going on down there, at least in terms of these qualifiers. But it's slightly delayed based on, compared to the European region, those Brazilian qualifiers. I'm pretty sure the open qualifier is now done in that region, going now into the closed qualifier, really. So, this is the new Ninjas in Pajamas team after dropping their entire roster in the European side quite some time ago now. But speaking of roster changes, this of course was the big one we discussed yesterday for Nitr0. Now, he of course went on to discuss the Steel situation on 100 Thieves, where he was, exactly why Steel got dropped, kind of his perspective on it from behind the scenes. Also, this article comes out from Team Liquid last night, which, I'll kind of share a couple of interesting things from, because, the first one of it really is the way the Counter-Strike circuit works, compared to his thoughts right now on the way the Valorant side works. And, it is interesting, right, because I think Valorant, in a way, like Counter-Strike and Valorant, both have their advantages and disadvantages in terms of the way the format works. I think the Valorant one is somewhat confusing, right, to a new entrant, right? If someone's just trying to get into things and understanding, okay, you've got challengers, masters, champions, like, how does this whole thing work? Like, who qualifies for what? How does it go? Rather than having kind of a traditional type circuit. And, for example, in Counter-Strike, the major, the best teams are pretty much going to be there the way it's structured, right? With the 24 teams down to 16, down to 8. The best teams are always going to get a chance. So, I guess that's the way they work it out there. And pretty much the entirety of the rest of the Counter-Strike scene is done not by Riot, right, or Valve in Counter-Strike's case, but by third-party tournament organizers where the teams can either qualify or just get invited to. And it's kind of like an open system, which means you get more tournament action and kind of less kind of strange situation where you have to do really well in Valorant and qualify and do well in one particular tournament, and that determines how things go for the next few months. Like in Counter-Strike, if you bum out of one tourney, then at least you're going to have a decent chance getting invited to the next one or just qualifying for it through another means. So this is really as he says right here. So in Valorant, I had a couple of players needed a little bit of micromanagement and stuff like that. Coming back to Liquid, I have an experienced core again. That's a relief. But a lot of it is I just like playing at the highest level. I like traveling to compete and stuff like that. And I think in Valorant, there's not enough tourneys for me to be sufficed about. You have to do good at specific tournaments to play in the next 3 months worth of tournaments. I like the open competitive circuit style of the Counter-Strike side. So, I guess maybe Valorant can consider doing something like that going forwards. I think the format right now for a lot of people is the biggest complaint. This also was very interesting, right? Because OC is a new player that's coming into their Liquid team in the Counter-Strike side. And, don't want to talk too much about Counter-Strike, but interestingly enough, this player, like a really promising, talented young player, has been talked about that apparently wanted him to join the Valorant team. So supposedly, he was trying to get OC to come over to the 100 Thieves Valorant squad at some point or another. He decided to stay in Counter-Strike and over there for now, but still kind of interesting. I wonder when this could have happened, right? Because I guess Nitr0, when he was on 100 Thieves, there might have been an option at some points of, trying to get OC over there. I wonder whether that was, when Steel was dropped or even before that, long before that he thought, okay, if we get rid of Steel, maybe we can bring in OC or something instead of bringing Boy in from our analyst bench. So maybe that could have happened, but of course he was pretty decent. Like he preferred to play Counter-Strike, and his team were with him now regardless. I wanted to dive into this as well because some reaction to Neon really the last couple of days. This, for example, from Asuna, right? Like maybe a bit of a one-trick pony, to be honest, with all the abilities that she has. But still, there's definitely been some mixed reviews. I don't really think anyone's figured her out exactly right now because Chamber, we talked yesterday, was barely used at all in some of these European qualifiers, even though there was a series yesterday, a very important series. We'll look at here in just a second that, Chamber actually was played. So maybe over time, pros will get the hang of Neon a little bit more. And, maybe she could be used to pretty good effect. But I'll share this clip from Asuna. He reckons right now she's not particularly good. He hasn't really seen anyone good actually use her to good effect either. So he believes she's not going to be a particularly high-powered agent. But TenZ was using her a little bit and saying, look, actually, she, on her day, she's got a lot of great abilities.
Get out of my way!
Yeah, fine.
Go ahead, behind me. Never mind.
What? How is that balanced? This thing is actually ridiculous.
Run A, and we can just walk above.
How you feel about Neon? She's pretty bad. Don't think she's good at all, and I don't think anyone should play her. She feels worse than Yoru somehow. But I think that's biased because I've seen a lot of good Yorus. Like the only people I've seen play Yoru are really good Yorus.
One always plays close.
But with Neon, she's awful and no one really good plays her. So I'm in.
I'm pretty sure I saw Ethan and Tyson playing her.
Yeah, you get my point though. Probably
Enemy killed.
So speaking of these new agents really coming into play, this from FPX last night because they become the team from the CIS region, the first team to qualify officially for challenges in that region. So they make their ultimate reverse sweep, down 2-0 to winning it 3-2 against Na'Vi. So full claps really from the Na'Vi guys. But I mean, yeah, it's FPX that make it first team from the CIS region. So this was the overall bracket. And well, as I was just saying, here in the game 2, I'm pretty sure it was the Icebox. So game 1, Na'Vi won 13-10. Then it was game 2, 14-12 on Icebox here in overtime. But you can see that actually it was Chamber was being used to pretty good effect here, 25-20. So pretty much the first big series we've seen someone actually use Chamber here. So that's the thing, like Chamber seems relatively strong, could be used in certain games, and maybe Neon will also find a place as well. So anyway, after these first 2 maps that Na'Vi win both of, then it goes 13-5 on Breeze, then it's 13-7 on Haven, and then it's 13-3 on Split. So the full collapse comes through the Na'Vi, and I mean, yeah, they're out of there. So yes, the one team that goes through from this first closed qualifier or open qualifier into closed qualifier is FPX 1+ Phoenix from the CIS region. Congratulations to these guys. Cracking series on the whole from all of them. They advance in the European main one as well. So of course we saw that it was Guild that got out yesterday, and they beat Vitality in that grand finals. And so yeah, Vitality had 2 chances to make it out. They lose 3-0 yesterday to Guild. Then today, or at least yesterday as well, they lose 3-0 to Big. So yeah, Big are the second team to go through. A full collapse ready from the Vitality guys, but you know, a nicely played tournament up until this point. And it's Big with God B and the guys like that make it all the way to challenges. So congratulations to these guys, and yeah, Vitality will get their chance next time around. And then the Turkish side, it's Supermassive Blaze that qualify. So right now the teams qualified for challenges are of course the 4 teams in the European side that came from champions. So Ascend, Liquid, Gambit, and Fnatic, and then you've got 4 other teams that have now qualified in Guild, Big, Supermassive Blaze, and Fun+ Phoenix. Those are the first 8 teams to qualify for European challenges. Now they're going to be 4 more teams that come from the open qualifier number 2, and then the closed qualifier number 2. And interestingly enough on that front, there's some, well, pretty top seeds to be honest, that find themselves in a similar bracket situation as is described right here. Teams that have the same background color are in the same brackets, so only one of these teams will make it out. So of course some pretty big name teams here, like of course G2 are in the ballpark, like OG are in there as well in a similar boat, Heretics, Giants, like so many, well, potentially good teams in a similar situation. And of course a lot of these guys won't even make it through to the closed qualifier, and well, if they don't, they're straight up out of there for the next few months, as Nitro was describing, right? If this tourney doesn't go well, then well, it's GG for you for the next few months of Valorant stuff, right? Which of course isn't ideal by any means, and it feels like you have to make changes. G2 of course now with Keylocks should be a big favorite to romp through this bracket, but well, it's not going to be easy by any means with some of the opposition they may find themselves up against. And just to finish out with this really from dapr from the Sentinel side, because well, we believe of course that these pros made a fair chunk of change from, well, the champions bundles that went through. So I think the rumor is, or at least some of the talk is, that it was about $15 million or so made from, well, at least by Riot, I guess the cut that goes to the players. So I think Riot might take half of it, and the players and the teams get the other half. So maybe about 15 million split between about 16 teams, divided by 5 for the players. They're making probably just under 200k potentially per player, which you know, I thought I saw that calculation. I'm not sure if that's true, but you know, that would be in the ballpark of buying a Lambo, right? Of course, you got to pay tax on that as well, so it's not ideal. And maybe the organizations take a cut as well. Maybe the orgs already got their cut by that point. So you know, regardless, the players at the champions guys, they're making a lot of money for this. It's pretty impressive stuff, and you know, maybe their Lambo comes through for dapr. But yeah, very much intrigued to your thoughts and all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit in a like button and tell the YouTube gods it's a good video. Others like you should see it as well, and help grow the competitive Valorant community. Thank you much as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.
remaining.
God damn, my Marshall. I'm telling you, dude, I'm like EA level to Marshall now.
I whenever he missed the guy at Switch or whatever, the open, I was like, oh, it's over. I was like, oh, it's too hard.
It's never too hard, come on.
He